Social credit scores. When compliance replaces currency, welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Social Credit and Surveillance series. As we continue this deep dive into the emerging systems of social credit and surveillance, we turn our focus to one of the most disruptive aspects of this system, the social credit score. At first glance, the idea of a credit score seems harmless enough. After all, we've all seen it applied to loans and credit card eligibility. But in the world of smart cities and predictive surveillance, the concept of a social credit score has morphed into something far more powerful and insidious. Imagine living in a society where your every action, your purchases, your social media posts, the people you associate with, and even your offline behaviors are tracked, monitored, and graded. In this new system, your worth as a citizen is determined not just by your financial status, but by your behavior, your compliance, and your alignment with state-approved values. This is the reality of the social credit score, a behavioral system that governs more than just your financial access. It influences where you live, where you travel, what you buy, and who you interact with. It is a system of compliance, and obedience is currency. The evolution of social credit systems. To understand how we got here, let's look at the history of credit scoring. Originally, credit scores were used to measure your financial reliability, your ability to pay off debts and manage financial obligations. Credit scores are calculated based on your past financial behavior, specifically how well you manage credit, make payments, and handle your debts. But in the world of social credit systems, this model is expanded. It's no longer just about your financial reliability. It's about your entire behavior, your social interactions, and your obedience to the system. The score isn't just for your credit. It determines your access to society. From loans and housing to transportation, employment, and even education, your social credit score determines what you are allowed to do, where you are allowed to go, and who you can interact with. This idea of scoring behavior has been applied in a few experimental systems around the world, with China leading the charge. China's social credit system is perhaps the most famous and most extreme example of this kind of social control, but the principles behind it are not exclusive to China. As digital surveillance technology and data analytics evolve, the model is being considered in various countries around the world. The mechanics of the social credit score. At the heart of the social credit score is data collection. In a traditional financial system, your credit score is determined by your past financial activity. In a social credit system, however, your score is based on a much broader scope of data, from what you buy, to who you associate with, to how you behave online. In China, for example, social credit scores are linked to a person's behavior across multiple platforms, including social media, banking, transportation, and even government compliance. The government compiles a digital profile based on how citizens behave, rewards them for compliant behavior, and penalizes them for noncompliance. This can range from fines to restricted access to basic services like transportation, credit, and even healthcare. Every interaction you have with the system, whether it's purchasing goods, posting on social media, using public services, or speaking publicly, is tracked, scored, and factored into your overall score. The higher your score, the more privileges and freedom you enjoy. The lower your score, the less access you have to resources, opportunities, and rights. How compliance becomes currency. In this new world, compliance with the system becomes currency. In the traditional world of finance, currency is defined by money. But in the world of social credit, the currency is obedience. If you follow the rules, comply with the system, and align yourself with the state's expectations, you get rewarded. If you don't comply, or if you engage in behaviors that are considered unacceptable, your freedom is restricted. This model is more than just a financial system. It's a totalitarian social contract. It says that your value as a person is determined by your actions and compliance with the rules of the system. The more compliant you are, the more privileges you get. The more you deviate from the norm, the more punished you are. In a society where compliance is currency, even small missteps can have major consequences. For example, if you express political dissent online, or if you participate in activities deemed unacceptable by the government, your social credit score can drop. This could lead to restricted access to public transportation, denied loans, or even being blacklisted from certain jobs. These penalties punish you for deviating from the approved narrative. But it's not just about avoiding punishment. It's also about actively earning rewards. If you follow the rules, support the government, and demonstrate loyalty, your score will rise. This gives you access to better services, better housing, better job opportunities, and more financial freedom. The system incentivizes compliance by linking your social status and access to opportunities to your behavioral score. The social credit system as a tool for control. The beauty of the social credit system from the perspective of the state is its ability to control citizens without overtly using force. It's not about locking people up or using military or police power to enforce compliance. Instead, it's about using data and predictive algorithms to create a society where citizens self-regulate their behavior to avoid penalties and gain rewards. This soft power approach creates a society where compliance is voluntary, but the incentives and punishments are so embedded in everyday life that citizens are coerced into following the rules. It's a social contract where your reputation, as determined by your digital profile, is constantly evaluated and ranked by the state. In this new world, what you say, who you associate with, and how you behave in public all determine your worth. Dissent, noncompliance, and even individuality become risks to the collective harmony that the state is trying to maintain. Resistance is no longer just a political act. It becomes a social liability that can lead to punishment. How social credit is expanding globally. While China's social credit system may seem extreme, it's not an isolated case. The principles behind social credit scoring are being soft-launched in other parts of the world. As predictive surveillance and data collection become more widespread, countries around the globe are starting to experiment with similar systems. In the West, we're already seeing the early stages of this kind of digital control through systems like health passports, ESG scores, and banking restrictions that are tied to social and environmental compliance. As digital identity systems become more pervasive, we are inching closer to a world where your social credit score is not just a Chinese innovation, but a global reality. Many countries have already implemented trackable health passports and digital identification systems, where access to services, travel, and even work is increasingly tied to the data collected about you. Governments and corporations alike are working together to create systems that allow them to track, monitor, and control populations through the data they generate. The future of compliance. What happens when the social credit system spreads? As the social credit system becomes more ingrained in our lives, it's important to ask, what happens to freedom in a world where compliance is the key to opportunity? If our actions and reputations are continuously tracked, what happens to the individual? Will we become cogs in a machine, merely existing to follow the rules and achieve high scores? Will autonomy be completely erased by the systems of control that rank us, score us, and evaluate us based on our compliance? As social credit spreads globally, we must ask ourselves, what will we lose in the name of convenience? And more importantly, how can we ensure that our freedom, our individuality, and our human rights aren't swept away in this new era of digital governance? Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing, and no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to understand the future before it's implemented on you.